Well, here we are again, a little earlier in the day today, and I have something I want to talk about today. But first off, someone asked me why I carry a stick like this. And basically, when I'm walking, I will twirl it this way 3 times, wait, twirl it this way 3 times, wait. So if I have music going through my head, I'm basically conducting the music. But also, I switch between the right and left hand, and that helps to activate different areas of the brain. If you're a right-handed person and you start doing things with your left hand. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to be listing a lot of left-handed drawings on eBay soon that I did. And when you do that, and you're not trying to channel your right hand memory, you really get some interesting results. So anyway, also this thing of twirling a stick, there are a lot of indigenous people that do this sort of thing. I can't remember the people in Brazil. I saw a documentary where a fellow was doing that. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is appearances. And we sure put a lot of emphasis on appearances. Now, when I was a kid, really, really young, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, something like that. And you know, televisions were mainly black and white back then. And we would see these, occasionally these movies, which were, you know, Hollywood epics, and they would have people in them that were, you know, just considered to be attractive, you know, lighting just so, and makeup, and the camera angles, and all these things, all working together to create this effect. And the first thing I thought as a child was, this is going to make people feel really terrible about the way they look. I never forgot that. It was a really strong sensation. So anyway, with the Hollywood idea, you know, when someone is attractive, they can be from Omaha or something like that. And people say, oh, you should go to Hollywood, you know, because you've got that look, you've got the face, you're photogenic. You know, and that's what happens. So a lot of people, they look a certain way, and then they wind up, you know, going to Hollywood, and how it works out, well, that's another story. But there's some people coming, you know, I'm not going to turn the camera off this time, because that means I have to edit things back together again. But anyway, it's okay. It's okay. I'm a dog person. Woof, woof. But anyway, appearances. What do they say? Appearances can be deceiving. Yeah. And anyway, when you look around, say billboards, for example, you know. Now, you're not allowed to shout at someone with a bullhorn in public, but it's okay to have a billboard to basically steal your attention and get you to look at something. And so there, that's the appearance of the image on the billboard. Also, our society is very caught up in imagery, appearance. So every vehicle that you see, you know, some are designed to look a little more understated. Others are designed to look, you know, monstrous, gigantic, affluent, things like that. And also people's appearance. You know, the rise of tattoos, for example. They are simply everywhere now. And there again, it's putting an emphasis on appearance. It's like, look, 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 look. And I heard a story recently about a fellow who is local here where I'm living. And a guy, basically a car garage, got a bad review by someone because the guy that was working there doing the checkout and stuff, and I happen to know the guy. He's older than I am. He's an older fella. He's actually missing a leg. That's another story. But he got a bad review from some kid who felt that he was treated rudely. Why? Because the guy wasn't, he felt that he was being discriminated against because he was, you know, metal, heavy metal. So I assume he was pierced and wearing black and skulls and tattoos and, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, you know, you go out into public like that and you're wanting to get a reaction, and you got a reaction. So isn't that what you wanted? Or do you want all positive reactions? I didn't think that was the thing with, you know, metal and punk and things like that. I thought you wanted to get a negative reaction. So anyway, I guess any reaction will do at some point, but maybe people are signing on to these fads without any real authentic, you know, sense of purpose or loyalty to the cause, like a metal. So anyway, there's that. But appearances. So basically what I'm getting at, what I want to get at with appearances is that appearances are basically the least important thing in the universe. Really. And, you know, with the universe, it's like, well, what's the appearance of the distant galaxy or the star or, you know, molecules or insects or, you know, a sunset, all these things. It's like they're wondrous in their way, sure. They're probably more, you know, important in a way than our imagery. But anyway, consider someone like Helen Keller, who was blind from birth, never saw anything, you know. What would it be like to live like that? Or take someone like Stevie Wonder. Now, Stevie Wonder could see, I think, up until age 9, maybe something like that. After that, he was blind. And, you know, he did get married, and he married a woman because of her voice. I think she was a secretary in a records company or something like that. He fell in love with her voice. Didn't matter what she looked like, you know. So anyway, Helen Keller, not just blind, deaf and dumb. Of course, dumb not meaning stupid, dumb meaning unable to speak. So a thought experiment might be, what would the world be like if we were all blind? What would our priorities be? How would things change? What would be important to us? What would take the place of appearances? You know? And here I am making this video, and it's like, here's my face, my glasses, and haircut, and my little neck thing, my t-shirt. You know, I gotta say, this stuff was given to me. I didn't pick it out myself. But that stuff isn't important. And if I'm talking about a certain subject, you know, in the old days when I would make videos and I would mention something specific, a book or a person or something, I would edit in that image, you know, and the video would cut to that. And I don't do that anymore because it's just too time consuming. And I assume that I don't have to, you know, basically use a baby bottle for you viewers to keep your attention going and do lots of hand gestures and cut, you know, and zoom in, zoom out and things like that to keep your attention. Because if the subject is valid, important, interesting, then I think it's good to have a little extra room to process what it is that you're taking in, rather than just, you know, go through this video, then go to the next video, and go to the next video. So there's an awful lot of stuff like that out there. It's instructional, you know, or news or something like that. And basically, yeah, you watch it, you take it in, and then you go right to the next one. And it's just all day long. And I wonder how much gets retained. But anyway, I think I've kind of covered it there. And this is actually a sort of an addendum to the video about things. So, where I basically am saying things are not important, people are important. And appearances are not important. but people are important. One other thing I mentioned, and I will probably be doing an eerie story based on this idea soon, is the idea of beauty contests. Because I picked up an old annual from the 1950s or 60s, early 60s, I can't remember, mid 50s. And it was from a town where one of the students had won the beauty contest. It was national. And I saw another girl in the annual, and she was basically the polar opposite of what would be considered attractive. And you know, she looked like she was in a lot of pain. She looked like she was hurting. And that's the thing about all these, beauty contests. And I don't think there are as many as there used to be. I think people are kind of catching on to how it's kind of negative in a way. But the way they would do it is like, oh, well, this person is attractive, but they also have talent. They can sing a song or something like that. So it's not just the way they look. But anyway, that also, it's a bit like Hollywood. Some people and actresses or actors or Playboy bunnies, things like that, were often winners of beauty contests when they were young, things like that. So anyway, just tack that beauty contest thing on the end there. I'll leave it there. Basically, appearances are not important. And what kind of world would it be if we were all blind? Would it be better? Would our sense of priorities change? Yeah, I think they would. And I think it would be in a good way.